And so we arrive in our bodies. And there are only two things that are relevant. Only two things are relevant at this moment. That you are sitting. Some of you might be lying down, I don't know. That you are sitting or lying down in front of this tablet or computer or phone. And that you are breathing. And let us recognize that everything else is a story created in our imagination. Everything else, those conversations we had in the past with those relationships, our financial situation, even how comfortable or uncomfortable your body is at this moment. Everything is a story except the two facts which we would like to highlight: the fact that we are sitting and breathing. What are those indicators that we are sitting? Feel the surface underneath your body. If you're sitting on a soft surface, notice how it supports your body, how it molds itself to the shape of your body. And as you do this, why not relax your muscles? Relax your bones. Feel your shoulder muscles dropping under the weight of your arms. And you can feel yourself arriving more and more onto the surface, into this present moment we call the now. And then there is the temperature of this room. So why don't we explore the temperature of this room? You might want to awaken the skin on your arms, the back of your hands, maybe even the ears, the face, the back of the neck, and experience. And if you want to know what the mind's role is, can you notice meaning arising? Definitions, labeling, as such as the temperature is warm or cool, or if there is a fan or air conditioning unit around you, you might feel the movement of the air. And so all these meanings, warmth, coolness, breeze, or stillness, all of this meaning is being given by the mind. Because the mind is like a filter. The mind is the instrument, the tool that has learned what warmth is. It's learned what coolness is. It has memories. Since it was born into this world of matter, it learned all these different meanings. And so we can enjoy watching these meanings arising as we simply observe. Because in this present moment, where we truly are seated, where it's always the now, all we can experience are sensations. There's no warmth, there's no coolness, there's no movement or breeze. Because in this moment, there's never anything to compare. Everything is just perfect in this moment. They're just sensations. And so we're beginning to understand how the mind works. It gives meaning to everything that we see, hear, taste, smell, touch. And so we have established that our bodies are still, that our bodies are seated here, breathing in front of these computers or tablets. Now let's find out about the mind. Because it is the mind that is always moving. And that's probably why we're here. Most people come and meditate or enter into practices such as this because they want to slow the mind down. They just want to take some rest because they know the only time they get that is when they sleep. And even when you sleep, sometimes the dreams. And so that's why we're here. To watch the mind, to see how we can help, how we can feel a bit better. Let's begin by just watching the mind. Where is the mind right now? One very interesting fact is that if you notice what you're thinking about right now, you'll notice it's almost always about the past or about the future. And the past, it can go back to the conversation we were having a short while ago. It can go back to this morning, or it could even rewind to last night, last week, last month, last year, even back to childhood. And for those of us who've been reading the news a lot, we know that the mind is also jumping into the future. Economic situation, coronavirus numbers, economy, politics, things we should do, our plans. And so that's a lot to think about. And we're just a bit tired of that. Maybe that's why we're here. Maybe we're just here to feel a bit better. But whatever it is, whatever your reason for being here, let's make the best of it. Sometimes you've had a good meditation in the past, when the mind was slow, when the mind was still. And sometimes you've had a bad meditation in the past, when the mind was turbulent and moving into so many different thoughts. Which one are you having today? But the beauty about this practice is it doesn't matter. Because we're going to step outside of our thoughts. If your mind is turbulent, if there is much thinking going on, imagine it to be a raging river, a thought stream with very fast currents, constantly flowing, constantly moving. And If you felt anger, if you felt sadness, if you felt frustration, if you felt jealousy, if you felt all those different things, it just means that we believed ourselves to be the water in the stream. And so sometimes the water, it enters into those parts of the stream that are very still, where you can, the water is very clear and slow moving, and you can see the reflections on the sky above it. And it's so peaceful, so beautiful. You could even see the sunset or the sunrise, the beautiful piece of music in the background. And then sometimes it's turbulent and moving at incredible speeds down rocks, sometimes even waterfalls, sometimes even with pieces of rubbish, and sometimes even, who knows, maybe even crocodiles. But this is a practice where none of that matters. Because we bring ourselves back to our bodies, back to this point, back to this space where you are sitting right now, back to your breath. And we begin to recognize ourselves to be separate from the stream. We are not the water. We are not this flowing stream, which seems to begin somewhere high up in the mountains and seems to spread out into so many different branches, the future, so many different possibilities. Instead, we breathe. We begin to recognize ourselves to be separate from the water. That's all, just separate. And then we give up the struggle. Because when you're mixed up with your thoughts, when I am mixed up with my thoughts, my fears, my worries, there's a lot of struggle. The muscles are tight, the muscles are tense. I grind my teeth. My forehead becomes tight. What about you? Maybe even butterflies in the stomach. So much tension, so much tightness. But now we relax, we loosen, we let go of all this tightness, and we begin to enjoy the way in which the stream carries us. We begin to recognize that we can float in this stream. Because, of course, each and every one of us, we've been through so much in the past. And we're not seeking to swim back upstream. It's too tiring to go back, isn't it? Because the current is moving in this direction, towards the sea. But many of us, we want to turn back, we want to look into the past. We want to find solutions, but not from this moment. We want to swim back all the way to the top, all the way to the beginning of the stream. And if it started in a mountain, it's a long and tiring journey. So we just want to make peace with this present moment, where we are right now. And so we loosen our muscles, we let the current take us. And so what does it feel like to float, knowing that nothing can happen to you? Because we've always made it through all those past hazards. And they've all seemed to have brought us to this point in time, where we're all together, seated. We're no longer alone. And so there's no need to feel alone. We've arrived to this space where we're all together, sitting, breathing, like-minded people, meeting together with such incredible technology that allows us to do so. We're thankful, we're grateful for this opportunity. And then, now that we've relaxed ourselves, let's try to get outside of this stream. And so if you like, you can, with your mind's eye, you reach up or you stretch your legs downwards, beginning to recognize how shallow this stream is, how easy it is to get a foothold, how easy it is to find something to hold on to. And then we step outside of the stream. It's that simple. We've just decided, now I want to step outside of the stream. And so it doesn't matter whether the mind is moving slowly, whether the mind is still, whether the mind is moving fast. Whatever it is, we just want to witness it. And so we step outside of the stream. You might want to shake the little droplets. And just like today, it's a warm summer's day, and so the warm sunshine, it seems to bathe your skin, bathe your clothes, and somehow all the droplets of memories and fears, they begin to evaporate. Leaving you comfortably dry. And then you find yourself sitting in the exact position you find yourself in right now. Exact same position with the same surfaces underneath you, and so it's relatively comfortable. Whether it's grass or cushions or whatever it is you're seated on. Now you have an opportunity to observe the stream. You can still see the different thoughts passing you by. Just noticing its speed. You don't have to have conversations with the different thoughts. Just allowing them, giving them permission. I give you permission to flow past me. Some of you might be quite disturbing. Some of you I've wrestled with for a long time, but today I'm just going to give you permission to flow past. Because 5 minutes ago, yesterday, I thought I was the water in the stream. I believed that I had to deal with you. But today I realize that I am separate. I can simply give you permission to flow by. And so I no longer need to talk to you, dialogue with you, begin conversations. I can just enter into a deeper and deeper state of allowing, of giving permission. You can hear the sound of the stream bubbling, gurgling, flowing, some places fierce, some places relatively still. You can also see how different objects float and are carried by this stream. But now you are separate. You can focus on those parts of the stream that you would like to notice. Because the stream is not your enemy. It has served you in many, many ways. It's only through the mind that we understood what hot is, what cold is, when not to how we understood we should not touch fire. We learned how to handle sharp objects. we learned how to cook. And so there are so many wonderful things about this stream, our thoughts, and so many of them are friendly. And it's so much easier focusing on these parts now that we are separate from them. But we're not holding on to any of these, we're just allowing them to flow. Recognizing that sitting on the banks of this stream, we now have the ability to direct our attention to those thoughts, those parts of the stream that enhance our experience. That are helpful, that are useful, while allowing the rest to simply flow by. Not trying to scoop it up, not trying to create dams and overthink, but simply allowing. And how does this feel in your body as you allow? It feels relaxing, it feels restful, it feels at ease, just like the flowing water. No effort, just flowing, just allowing. And then we turn our attention away from the stream to the fields and the forests and the mountains that seem to surround us. And then we begin to recognize how small and minute the stream is in comparison to the space that exists all around us. Endless fields that somehow seem to end in some far distance as trees begin to arise in the horizon, leading into vast great mountains, and behind the mountains beautiful blue skies that turn into night time as we observe its beauty, and then the stars begin to appear, and then we begin to get glimpses into how endless that space in the sky is, with the countless stars. We can still hear the stream in the background, but it's no longer that prominent. As we've begun to recognize our ability to identify with this space that almost seems infinite, past the moons, past the suns, each star a new sun, a different galaxy, endless, spacious. And then we begin to recognize certain qualities. Those qualities we've come to recognize as kindness, existing in this space. Whereas once we believed it to be within the stream, we begin to recognize that we've always had access we've always accessed the kindness, the understanding, the patience, believing that it was within the stream, but now we're beginning to understand that it's actually around the stream. It covers every inch of this spaciousness. This present moment that we are seated here breathing, where all the solutions to our challenges, our problems also lie, where they all become so much more clearer, maybe not immediately, but as we continue with this practice, the solutions that have always been here, calling us, trying to get our attention, but we were too busy in the stream, paddling against the current, squeezing, trying to breathe, struggling. But now it becomes so much more clearer.